everybody, welcome back to the Headbangers Hideout. My name is Tony. If you haven't already, click subscribe, hit that notification bell because we do upload videos here every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Alright, today you're for a special treat. We're going to go over Rolling Stone's 50 greatest hair metal bands of all time, the best LPs from the age of the Aquanet. Alright, so sit back in your little time capsule as we go over 50 greatest albums as identified by Rolling Stones from 80s hair metal. Alright, sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, let's get to it. At 50, we have Lord Tracy, Deaf Gods of Babylon. Great little album originally released in 1989. This band had Terrence Lee Glaze on vocals and guitar. He was the vocalist with Pantera in their early glam metal days. It's quite a bit different than Pantera, less metal, more hard rock. The album is full of humor and has different styles running throughout the album. At 49, we have Lean Into It, Mr. Big's second album and best-selling album. Despite the success of the ballads, there was still enough rocking with Paul Gilbert and Billy Sheehan with his bass, guitar, and electric drill to keep the original fans content. Lean Into It is chock full of catchy songs and huge melodies and receives 2 thumbs up. At 48, we have Precious Metal, Right Here, Right Now. The 5 tarts from Precious Metal try to cop a Scorpions pose for their debut album cover shot. That is as far as into the rock and roll genre as Precious Metal ever got. These bimbos were signed for one reason and one reason only, to cash in on the novelty run of chick bands. Check out Precious Metal. At 47, we have Lita Ford. In light of her forced estrangement, Lita Ford returns this year with a back-to-basics pop metal album that will easily appeal to anyone who appreciated 1988's Lita, Stiletto, or Dangerous Curves. At least in the opening tracks, there's even some of the snarl ringing through her 1983 debut, Out for Blood. Check out Lita Ford. At 46, we have Kick Tracy. I first noticed Kick Tracy when their video No Rules aired on the MTV show Headbangers Ball in 1991. The song is very catchy and had to get the album. I say one of the greatest albums ever, I mean it. My definition of the greatest album ever means I can listen to every song on the album within its entirety and not skip a single song. Truly a great album. At 45, we have Pretty Boy Floyd. This album was originally released in 1989 and didn't sell super well. That's a shame because these songs on the CD are great. The singer's voice is great, the guitarist puts modern guitars to shame, and the drums and bass are invincible to age. I love the hair, the makeup, the eyeliner, the Aquanet. I love all the lipstick. I love the look. They look like women. They look good. At 44, we have Kiss, Lick It Up. I've been a Kiss fan since 1975. Although I love the early albums, it is with this CD where I felt they sounded their best. It was guitar heavy, vocally spot on, and Eric Carr was incredible. They took their makeup off to compete with the 80s metal that was exploding. Kiss Lick It Up is an incredible album. At 43, we have Vixen. For the very first time I heard this band on the radio in late 1980s, I really and truly enjoyed this music. It has some enjoyable hair metal music, On the Edge of a Broken Heart and Crying, with all the big hair and the Aquanet and the makeup, only these were real chicks. Those are my favorite tracks. The album as a whole is good too. It's also a great breakup album, and that there are songs about moving on and not dwelling on past relationships. Vixen. At 42, we have DAD, No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims, an awesome band that is hard rock and classic rock, channeling Roy Orbison with Buddy Holly during guitar solos. Fun lyrics and great musicianships. Their second album is a little bit better, but this album rocks. Enjoy. At 41, we have Winger, featuring Kip Winger on vocals and bass, and lead guitar player Reb Beach. This album kicks ass. If you're a fan of awesome guitar, this will be a great album for you to enjoy. Some people don't like singing bass players, who also pose as a ballerina dancer. Some people don't do that, but Winger is good. Just remember Beavis and Butthead used to make fun of the guy wearing the Winger t-shirt. At 40, we have Stryper, To Hell with the Devil. Come on, admit it. You remember the old days when MTV actually played music, watching the Stryper videos playing and rocking out to the music with the hair tease with Michael Sweet and I forgot who the bass player was or the guitar player was. Frank of Oz, something like Oz. It makes no difference. But anyways, I was wrong. Their original songs still rock as hard today as any other band out there. Check out Stryper. At 39, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Not only a member of Kiss during their original makeup days, but also when they unmasked shortly thereafter. Great songwriter and guitarist, he deserves more credit than he was given for. He also had a solo career and several well-done albums in his catalog. This is one of them. Unfortunately, the production is really distorted, very loud, and he was very sloppy as a guitar player, but an excellent songwriter. But Vinnie Vincent Invasion rocks. At 38, Britny Fox. Britny Fox's debut album was always one of my favorites from the 80s hair bands, rivaling Poison and Cinderella, with songs like Girl School, Long Way to Love, Save the Weekend Fun in Texas, to name a few. This should be in any 80s hard rock fan's collection. Britny Fox, the epitome of 80s glam. At 37, Bango Tango. The main single is great, the rest of the album is uneven. Tried to position this as the next Guns N' Roses, but the writing just wasn't there. Les has a great voice, but they can't simply blame lack of promotion on this one not taking off. Bango Tango, still worth a listen to. At 36, Alice Cooper, a great album with some tunes that never got their airtime on the radio. My only gripe was I had ordered the version with 2 additional tracks, but the one I got sent to me was just the standard issue version, and I'm sure I waited too long to return it, so I'm stuck with it. Otherwise, I'm satisfied with this album. Give it a listen to. At 35, we have Badlands. This is one of those rare gems of rock history. Fantastic production and performances all around. Jakey Lee shreds. The songs are not necessarily unique in the genre, but the performances keep them fresh. It truly feels like the band were recorded live. Always a bonus on a studio album. Well produced, but not overproduced. At 34, we have Junkyard, released in 1989, the very end of 80s glam metal. This is an awesome album. The band offers a bluesy sound while still remaining true to a phenomenal 80s sound, similar to Cinderella's Long Cold Winter or Heartbreak Station. Though my review sounds mainly negative, I give it 4 stars, which is somewhat an oxymoron. The music is awesome, and Junkyard is severely underrated. At 33, we have Saigon Kick, best described as commercial hard rock without being a bit wimpy. Great playing, catchy melodies, and good in-depth grooves to be found here. Their second effort. Guitarist Jason Beiler produced the CD. Choice cuts are Freedom, All Right, All I Want, Body Bags, and their 2 radio-friendly gems, Peppermint Tribe and Love Is On The Way. Truly a great album. At 32, Great White, Twice Shy, 1989. After Once Bitten, the boys deliver another hard rock slab of the California blues rock. Unjustly lumped into the hair metal glam rock genre, Great White were anything but. This is serious rock and roll and blues. House of Broken Love, come on. Great album, gets 5 stars. At 31, we have Slaughter, Stickin' To Ya, 1990. This is a classic hair metal album without a doubt. Always loved this album and really loved the yellow vinyl, and it does sound good. Music gets 5 stars, the vinyl 4 stars. Great band, this CD has all the favorites too, worth every penny. At number 30, we have Bullet Boys Freak Show, released in 1991. Lead singer often compared to David Lee Roth was Mark Torian, and the guitar player reminiscent of early 1978 Ted Templeman guitar tone. Great album, great music, great band, Bullet Boys, the poor man's Van Halen. Give it a listen to. At 29, Dangerous Toys. I have never understood why this band was never more well known among many hard rock bands. The lyrics, music, and Jason McMaster's voice are unforgettable. This band could really kick ass, and I know Jason is out with other projects, but this band was so much better than most people would give him credit for. Check out Dangerous Toys. At 28, Black and Blue. I totally recommend this album for not having a single ballad on it. Just fist-pumping riffs, licks, and solos. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is because of some cringeworthy lyrics like "Rock Your Socks Off," Other than that, if you're a fan of AC/DC, Judas Priest, early Crew, this is a great album with no saccharine love songs to break the pace. At 27, LA Guns. This entire album is killer, and I haven't even felt the need to skip any tracks at all. LA Guns really did an awesome job with this album. The bass and drums are on time, the leads are blistering, the melodies are original, and the vocals are solid. These guys are truly a talent to behold. Probably one of my favorite albums ever. At 26, Poison. Some of the catchiest songs ever to come out of the hair metal era are on this album. Released in 1988 at the peak of 80's glam hair metal. I dare anybody to listen to this without tapping their feet or nodding their head or banging their head. A catchy, fun album which makes you feel good upon hearing it. Poison. At 25, David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile, released in 1986. Can words really define this album? It's David Lee Roth. Either you like the guy or you don't. This album was not only Dave's middle finger to Van Halen, it blew Van Halen off the map with Steve Vai at the guitar, but it was him showing the rest of the world just what he brought to the table in Van Halen. David Lee Roth was Van Halen. At 24, Enough's Enough, released in 1989. Enough's Enough, one of those 80s bands that didn't get the attention they richly deserved. 80s glam, makeup, hair, eyeliner, platform shoes. Their original record label and commercial radio stations really let them down. Great guitar rock here and lots of melodic songs, whammy bar, guitar shredding that should have been played. Every bit as good as those big bands or those big brand hair bands. At 23, Hanoi Rocks, Self-Destruction Blues, released in 1982. Hanoi Rocks has kind of a punk glam style that I really like, and their songs are fast, catchy, and addicting. The hair, the makeup, the rouge, the eyeliner, the bass, the outfits, the costumes. It's a great album by a great band. If you like good music, then you should get it. Hanoi Rocks. At 22, White Lion, Pride, released in 1987. Absolutely awesome album. I had the cassettes back when it came out and just rediscovered this on CD. No weak tunes on here. Wait, Don't Give Up, Tell Me, Hungry, Lady of the Valley, and All You Need Is Rock and Roll are the highlights for me. Great guitar work by Vito Bratta, guitar legend. At 21, Dokken, Under Lock and Key, released in 1985. Probably one of their most commercial albums, and still holds up as amazing. This band, and most particularly George Lynch, is the reason why I started playing guitar in his style back in 1981. If you haven't heard this album, you've probably been living under a rock since 1985. Add it to your collection. Dokken, one of the top 5 heavy metal bands of heavy metal. At number 20, Love Hate, Black Out in the Red Room, released in 1990. Every track rocks hard. Sound is right for cranking. Nothing goes better at a great party for rockers. Anyone who has this CD knows how great it is. Blackout in the Red Room, the first CD from Love Hate rocks. This album rocks. At 19, Warrant, Cherry Pie, released in 1990. Worth every penny if you're in for a bit of cheesy hair metal sound from the 80s. If you're ashamed of it, then just turn back and laugh at it. Cherry Pie, hard rockin' riffs, guitar, melodies, catchy phrases. Cherry Pie, Warrant delivers. At 18, Cinderella Night Songs, released in 1986. This is a terrific album at the beginning of 80s hair metal, and it held my attention all the way through. Almost every single song on here is a complete hard rock hit. Tom Keeper, his lips, his hair, his makeup, the glowing, glittery costumes, it was all there. Love the album, and it might be their best effort to date. At number 17, Def Leppard, Pyromania, 1983. This music is better than Hysteria. The music is raw and heavy, but polished, so that every song is enjoyable to rock out to. I enjoy this music more now than I did back in 1983. Def Leppard still rocks. Pyromania, one of the best albums of all time. At number 16, Twisted Sister, Stay Hungry, released in 1984. Twisted Sister's most commercially successful album to date, also one of their most diverse. A couple lighter songs at the start of the album include poppy music We're Not Gonna Take It, quickly give way to over 10 minutes of darker, heavier tracks that get your blood flowing. Twisted Sister was here to stay, the best band in 1984. At number 15, Quiet Riot, Metal Health, released in 1983. Metal Health was one of the defining albums of the hair metal 80s, though at the time, 1983, the term had not even been invented. The album was at the right time, right place. The American counterpart to that was Def Leppard's Pyromania. In 1983, 80s heavy metal begun. At number 14, Warrant, Dirty, Rotten, Filthy, Stinky Rich, released in 1989. This is the classic album by Warrant, and if you're a fan of the heavy metal genre, especially 80s metal, this album is a must-have for your collection. For only $4.99, you can't go wrong, as this album is packed with hit after hit. Down Boys, where the Down Boys run, Heaven, and Sometimes She Cries. At number 13, Extreme 2, Porno Graffiti, released in 1990. If you have to have one Extreme CD, this is the one it should be. All of them offer something to like, but this one is all funk fest. Nuno totally kills it. Nuno Betancourt. Excellent vocals, production, musicianship, and to top it all off, fun songs. Nuno Betancourt rules. At number 12, Whitesnake. Whitesnake released in 1987. David Coverdale remade himself. John Sykes on guitar. This album kicked ass. Totally heavy, raw, in your face, pounding 80s heavy metal. Whitesnake was here to stay. At 11, Tesla, The Great Radio Controversy of 1989. One of Tesla's best albums. I purchased this because I love classic rock and rock from the 80s. Yes, I still listen to the glam bands and classic rock from the 70s and 80s. This album, I believe, doesn't have any bad song on it. It is well written, great songwriting, great guitar playing, all around a great heavy metal band. At number 10, Cinderella, Long Cold Winter, released in 1988. Long Cold Winter is the second studio release from Cinderella, and possibly their best album to date. Hardly a dud cut on the entire release. Lead singer Tom Keeper even employs the slide guitar in some of the songs. Cinderella, Long Cold Winter, an incredible album. At number 9, Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love, released in 1981. This is before they exploded in 1983. I love this album, it is so raw. Love Mick Mars' tone and playing so much on this album. It's almost a punk album. Blistering melodies and scorching guitar licks, screaming vocals, and pounding drums. Motley Crue was here to stay. At number 8, Kix, Blow My Fuse, released in 1988. Kix was and is a blast to listen to. High energy rock in the vein of AC/DC. These guys never quite got the credit they deserved, which is a shame because this album is great. The irony is that Don't Close Your Eyes was their biggest breakthrough track, and it's a powerful ballad. But this album is here to stay. At number 7, Faster Pussycat, one of the first of the 80s non-glam, glam LA scene bands. Tamed Down, Greg Steele, and the guys are straight on rock. As one of my best friends said, it sounds like Aerosmith and AC/DC had a baby and raised it in the 50s music. Just a grand party from beginning to end. At number 6, Rat, Out of the Cellar, in 1984, catapulted Rat to the stratosphere. Guitar players Robin Crosby and Warren DeMartini, lead vocalist Stephen Crosby, and Bobby Blotzer on drums. Hit after hit after hit, Rat could do no wrong. Rat Out of the Cellar, one of the greatest albums of 1984. At number 5, Skid Row, released in 1989. Skid Row's breakthrough, breakout, multi-platinum smash hit album debut. Top 10 singles include Youth Gone Wild, 18 in Life, and I Remember You. Blazed the trail of 80s metal. Blistering guitar work and vocals by Sebastian Bach. Skid Row was one of the best bands of '89. At number 4, Motley Crue again, Shout at the Devil, released in 1983. Definitely one of the greatest metal albums of all time. At the beginning of 80s metal, Vince Neil has a great vocal performance. Mick Mars' tone is killer, gritty. Tommy Lee glues everything together with some of the best drumming. and Nikki Sixx is Nikki Sixx with his little makeup, hair, and eyeliner. Shout Out the Devil was incredible. At number 3, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, released in 1986. One of the biggest Bon Jovi albums ever, selling more than 20 million copies. Hit after hit after hit. Bad Name, Prayer, Dead or Alive, Richie Sambora, John Bon Jovi, the hair, the makeup. Bon Jovi was here to stay. At number 2, Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In, released in 1986. Great glam hair metal album of the era. Very reminiscent of Motley Crue, but not quite as hardcore. There was a good mix of ballads and hard rocking songs, which is essential for a glam metal band. The makeup was excess, but the girls and the fans loved them. Coming in at number 1, Def Leppard's Hysteria, released August 3rd, 1987. Def Leppard's Hysteria is not only iconic in that it is by far the band's most commercially successful album, selling over 20 million copies. It defines the music of the late 80s. It was practically impossible to get through your day without hearing a song from Def Leppard's Hysteria. Def Leppard was here to stay.